All right, what's happening? We're back. UFC Fight Night. Whittaker taking on Aliskerov. If you guys need a place to bet, BetUS, promo code Iceman. We got the best promotions in the betting game, and if you use promo code Iceman, you best believe I'm going to get you those good promos that you deserve, and you're going to be getting emails consistently of new promos and just giving you free bets and all sorts of fun stuff. Just, make sure you use promo code Iceman. And I'm going to try to help you out as best I can with those promotions so you can make that money for those big cards coming up. So, unfortunately, if you guys don't know, you've probably been living on the moon. Conor McGregor pulled out, injury, right? Khamzat Chimaev pulled out. Man, I was so looking forward to Khamzat and McGregor back-to-back weekends. That's insane. I was so pumped for that, man. Unfortunately, Khamzat pulled out. McGregor pulled out. But the thing is, with the McGregor card, I will give you this. That card may have even got better because Alex Pereira and Yuri Prohaska, that's a fire fight. Now, I hope both guys are in shape because that fight's, they took that fight on short notice. So both of them took it on short notice. So it's not like, Pereira was training the whole time and Yuri came in on short notice. Both guys took it on short notice. I do know both guys they stay in shape outside of camp. So I don't think, either guy's going to be really too out of shape. But, man, that call came. Dana must have pulled out the bag because that's a tough fight. 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks notice. That's crazy, bro. Crazy. And my favorite fight on that card is not even the main event. It's actually Diego Lopez, Brian Ortega. I am so excited for that fight, man. This Diego Lopez guy, this guy is the real deal. If he gets past Brian Ortega, you're talking title shot. That might be one of the quickest title shots I've ever seen at 145. Because 145 is pretty stacked, man. If he can go in there and if he finishes Brian Ortega, you got to throw him in there title shot. And I know Movsar Evloev is, sort of in that mix. I want to see him get a title shot too. But, up next is Max. You got to give Max Holloway the title shot. That's at the Sphere. Boom. Winner should get, either Lopez if he beats Ortega or Evloev. I like to see Evloev get it in there as well. And, this weekend we got Robert Whittaker, just a savage, taking on Ikram Aliskerov, who, most people don't know, but this guy, combat world champion, he's the only guy I've ever seen stuff Khamzat's takedowns in the first round. Now, I've seen people stuff Khamzat's takedowns in the second and third when he starts getting tired, but the first round, I've seen Khamzat literally destroy everybody. He's taking down Burns, taking down Kamaru Usman. Pretty much everybody he's fought, he's taken them down in the first round. Except for Ikram Aliskerov. Now, unfortunately for Ikram, he ate one of the most vicious uppercuts I've ever seen. And, other than that one loss to Khamzat Chimaev, which, no shame, you got, beat by Khamzat. Man, he's been phenomenal, dude. And he's just destroying people. And he's got a great grappling game, and we haven't really even seen it because, combat Sambo world champ, this guy is for real, man. Ikram Aliskerov, he's got heavy hands, flying knees. This guy's a very dynamic fighter. Great striking, man. He's been finishing guys. And, you're taking on Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker's been, looking great, man. I mean, his last fight, he looked great against Paulo Costa. Other than that spinning heel kick he ate in the first, he looked good against Costa, but Costa's not the same guy he was. He doesn't look the same. That Costa's not the same Costa that fought Yoel Romero. So before that, he got knocked out by Dricus du Plessis. Probably the worst performance as of his recent career is probably that Dricus fight. If he can get any fight back, it might be either, that's one of them. Because he got knocked out by a jab in that fight. If you guys go back and watch it, he got knocked out by a jab. Maybe it was a lucky shot. Maybe Dricus just hits that hard. I don't know. But, Robert Whittaker's slight favorite. So Ikram was actually, he was scheduled to fight, what's his face? Oh, Antonio Trocoli, who is Mackenzie Dern's new boyfriend. So he was scheduled to fight him. He was like minus 1,000 to win that fight, and now he's even odds to fight Whittaker. Literally, pretty much even odds. Plus 115. That's pretty much even there. And I'm gonna go with the slight underdog. I'm gonna go with Ikram Aliskerov, which is shocking to most people. I just think Robert Whittaker. He's gonna be forced to strike with Ikram Aliskerov, and I think Ikram might hurt Whittaker on the feet. Whittaker's chin's a little suspect, Dricus du Plessis, really finished. Whittaker really hurt his chin. Obviously, before that was Adesanya, but even his last fight when he ate that spin kick against Costa, if the round didn't end, he got saved by the bell because it could have been lights out for him. I just think his chin is a little suspect, but everything else, man, his skills, cardio, technique, power, his stand-up's amazing, his ground game's phenomenal. Great takedown defense, but I just worried about his chin a little. And Ikram Aliskerov, his chin has not been cracked as much, so I'm going to go with Ikram Aliskerov by KO. I think he finishes Robert Whittaker because it is a 5-rounder. So I'll go with Ikram Aliskerov on that one. And up next, the bulldozer, Sergey Pavlovich. This guy, is a destroyer. So his last fight was for the interim title, where he got completely, destroyed by Tom Aspinall in the first round. I believe it was like the first minute. He just got destroyed. But before that, he was on a roll of straight first-round KOs. Now you're coming off a bad knockout loss. How is he going to react? How is he going to come back? Is his chin going to be there? You're fighting a guy like Volkov, who's a great striker, right? The guy's 6'7", long, lanky, and he's got, great striking. Very technical striker. His ground game is not that great, Volkov does have a hole in his ground game. His ground game is very bad. But the thing is, I don't think Sergey is going to be going to the ground with this guy. I think Sergey is going to want to stand in exchange. And I think that might play in right to Volkov's game. If Volkov's able to stay on the outside, pick his shots, try not to brawl with Sergey. If you go in there and try to brawl with Sergey, you might end up waking up to the lights because Sergey hits very hard. And he's a big favorite, minus 220. That's surprising. The fact that he's coming off a vicious knockout loss and he's minus 220, I'm going with the other way. I'll take Volkov on that one. I think Volkov gets it done. I think if he can stay on the outside, stay away from the power, and I think he can maybe pick Sergey apart, man, and even get the KO in the second or third round. So I'm going to go with Alexander Volkov. I just think Sergey, coming off that knockout loss is, I don't know how he's going to react to that. Kelvin Gastelum. Still doing the damn thing. Calvin's been doing this a long time. Cutting from 185. Now he's at welterweight. Much better weight class for him. Those, he's only 5'9". So, fighting some of those guys at middleweight can be tough, man. There's some big dudes in middleweight. Now, Kelvin Gastelum, he does have a couple good wins in his, that Chris Curtis win last year was very impressive because Chris Curtis is for real. But the guy's got 2 wins in his last, in 8 fights. So he's 2 wins, 6 losses in his last 8 fights. That is not good whatsoever. I am not confident in Kelvin Gastelum. He's minus 250. That just shows you how bad they think D-Rod is. And D-Rod got completely destroyed by Ian Gary. Darce choked by Neil Magny. Before that, he beat the Leech. It was a split decision. Some people thought the Leech won. His biggest win might be over Mike Perry. He beat Mike Perry back in 2021. That might be probably the biggest win of his career, in my opinion. The Tim Means one was okay, too. That was a big win. But, yeah, Mike Perry, Kevin Lee, the Leech. The Leech was a split decision, so I'm not even going to put that in there. But Mike Perry, that win actually, that's a good win. I think this fight goes to decision, I think. I'm going to take the decision on this one. I don't feel comfortable betting either of these guys. They've just not been looking good. Not at all. This one, Johnny Walker. And I'm not talking about the liquor. I'm talking about the fighter. 6'6". This guy is lanky and he's like a goofy dude too. This guy, every time he gets knocked out, he falls in like the goofiest ways. So his last two fights, he fought Magomed Ankalaev, who in my opinion is the best fighter in that 205 division. He probably should be fighting for the title soon. The UFC just doesn't want him to be champion because he is, a wrestler, and they just think him as boring. But he's got some KOs, man. Look, he KO'd Johnny Walker in the second round. So Johnny Walker, other than the Ankalaev fight, he was on 3 wins in a row, beat Anthony Smith, Paul Craig, and choked out Kutilaba. But now he's taking on Volkan Oezdemir in both these. So Johnny Walker opened up as a favorite. A lot of money since then has been going on Volkan Oezdemir, and now the odds are dead even. This fight is going to be very interesting. I'm going to go with Volkan Oezdemir on this one. I think this fight stays on the feet. Volkan Oezdemir, actually, he's been working his grappling a lot. His takedown defense has got much better, and his submission game has actually got much better as well. Even his last fight, he got a submission win, which is very surprising for Volkan Oezdemir, if you guys have been watching his career, because he's been knocking guys senseless. No time. Oezdemir, I'm going with Volkan on that one. I just think he's going to land a bomb, and I think he might be able to knock Johnny Walker out. This guy, Shara Bullet. This guy is insane striker. A lot of hype behind him because they nicknamed the Pirate. He's got one eye, which is crazy how he's allowed to fight with one eye. But obviously in Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, they don't give a shit. So Shara Bullet, the Pirate, he's a very good striker, phenomenal striker, very fast kicks. He throws that switch kick super fast. But the thing is, he does have holes in his game, and that hole is the grappling. If people are able to take him down and smother him, so that could be an issue here, especially you're fighting a very experienced fighter, a Brazilian Joelton. If Joelton goes in there and just takes him down, that can be an issue. And the guy you're fighting has, he's a striker himself. He's got good striking, a lot of knockouts. But the thing is, is he going to want to strike with Shara Bullet? I'm not sure. This guy and Joelton, he's been doing boxing matches, kickboxing matches, karate matches. He's really just been fighting all over. Fought in Glory. The guy's fought, I don't know how many fights. The guy's got tons and tons of experience, man. This is, I don't know if I want to take Shara Bullet on this one. The guy he's fighting has got a lot of experience, man. That's a tough one. I'm leaning towards Shara Bullet, but that's a tough one. That's a tough one. So I'll go with Shara Bullet, but that's a tough one. Up next, Nasrat Haqparast taking on Jared Gordon. I like Nasrat Haqparast in this one. He's coming off a nice little win streak too. Got three in a row, taking on Jared Gordon, who's coming off a great win over Mark Madsen, the Olympian. Before that, it was that no contest with Bobby Green and the loss to Paddy Pimblett in a match that I thought, and a lot of other people thought, he actually beat Paddy Pimblett. I thought he should have won that fight, but unfortunately he did not. Now he's fighting Nasrat Haqparast. It's a tough fight for Jared Gordon. Nasrat Haqparast, he's like a mini Kelvin Gastelum. He can really do it all. I'll go with Nasrat Haqparast on that one. Next one, Hanat Fakhretdinov taking on Nicholas Dalby. This one's surprising. And what's surprising is not that they're fighting. What's surprising is the odds. The fact that Hanat Fakhretdinov is minus 360 taking on Dalby, who's very experienced. And Dalby is a no joke, man. Hanat Fakhretdinov, he's been flawless in his MMA career. He had one loss 10 years ago. And he's been, phenomenal since then, other than, getting choked out by Craig Jones, who, no shame losing to Craig Jones. And that was a grappling match too. He got choked out like twice, triangled, whatever. Craig Jones will choke out everybody in the UFC. So let's not look at that. But his grappling is very good. His striking's very good. Dalby himself is very well-rounded. He's got great striking. He's just a dog. Dalby's got, he ranked off 4 wins in a row, and that one against Bonfim, he was a huge underdog. More than this one, he was over like plus 300, I believe, against Gabriel Bonfim, and he destroyed Bonfim, finished him. Dalby's been looking good, man. Other than that Tim Means loss a few years ago, he's been looking real good. I'll go with Hanat Fakhretdinov. On this one, I'll go with the Russian, but the fact that they're counting out Dalby, do not count out Dalby at all. He's got 4 wins in a row. He's been looking great. Do not count out Dalby. I know Fakhretdinov is the real deal, but, so is Dalby. Last one, Gafarov take on Kung Ho Kang. I'll go with Gafarov on that one. The last one I'm going to touch on here is this guy, the Dagestani Magomed Gadzisulov. The guy is very good. So Russian dude. He's born in Dagestan, Russia, but now he currently lives and fights out of Bahrain, which is very strange. Because you see a lot of Dagestanis that are, they grew up in Dagestan, grew up fighting, and then later on down the road they moved to whatever it is, England or Bahrain or one of these countries. But clearly they got all the skills in the world. And no difference with this guy, Magomed, 8-0, undefeated in his professional career. He had a couple losses in the amateur scene, but that was a while ago. As a pro, he's been flawless. And, taking on a guy like Brenson Ribeiro, I think they're really just trying to build up this Magomed kid and just see what he can do and, see how he looks against a guy like Brenson Ribeiro, who I think he should literally just destroy Brenson Ribeiro. So I'll go with Magomed all day on that one. And those are your picks before, build that bankroll. So, we have a good, some money for that UFC 303 coming up because that's going to be absolute fire. Out.